Hello again, gamers. Welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Captain.
I'm Lynn.
And today we're going to be doing our Gen Con wrap-up videos. So we're going to be giving our final thoughts, in-depth analysis of what we experienced at the con, what we saw, what we felt, as well as we're going to go over the press release that Gen Con put out, and we're going to react. Now, Lynn, you haven't read the press release yet.
No.
So I've skimmed through it, but it's going to mostly be a pretty fresh response to the press release, because it's completely new to you, and like I said, I only just really skimmed over it. Should we start with that, you think?
Okay.
All right, so let me pull the computer over here, and we'll get started with the press release. So first off, it says Gen Con draws over 50,000 attendees in return to pre-pandemic scale. Now, that is the title of the press release. And let me just say that 50,000 people is definitely a pre-pandemic scale, though it is not 2019 numbers. Now, 2019 was over 60,000. Now, again, these are wide ranges. When they say over 50,000, that's somewhere between 50,001 and, 59,999. It's a big range, just like over 60,000 is anywhere between 60,001 and 69,999. But I guess, generally speaking, because they give rough estimates, you can figure that it's only about 10,000 less than 2019, which itself was an insane number of people. I don't know if you remember when the number was around 50,000. I think one of the years we went.
Probably previously.
Yeah, it was
like 2018 and previous.
Yeah, somewhere back there, because it was every year up to 2019, it was always significantly more than the year before. Like it was just growing year over year. 2020 there was nobody because there was no Gen Con. 2021 it was a very small Gen Con, like half the normal number of people.
It was nice.
And now we're back up to large. So why don't you talk about that? React to the fact that you were enjoying it being less crowded.
I liked being able to walk around and not have to like dodge people so there's there was more room. The aisles were wider last year, and this year it was, while it wasn't certain days, like Thursday was really busy.
Oh yeah.
But then Saturday was kind of okay.
Yeah, it was. I think more people were doing events.
Which is usually we try to avoid the exhibit hall on Saturday because that's the busy day. But we went in and we were like, wow, there's hardly anyone here.
I believe our thinking on this matter has become completely outdated. And the reason is, once upon a time, like when we first started going, there were a lot more people that would do one-day passes. Now, the vast majority of people do all-weekend passes. And when people would do one-day passes, the most one-day passes would be bought for Saturday. That's why Saturday...
So they're doing events.
Yeah, and now that everyone's doing all weekend, they're doing events on Saturday. That's the thing. So that's why our thinking on that has become horribly outdated, and we have to change the way we think about the days. But it was kind of crazy. There were I got body checked in the frickin' exhibit hall at one point. I grumbled some nasty things under my breath, but I moved on. I was like, whatever. But it was crazy. There was a traffic jam we ran into where we literally just had to get out of the aisle and go somewhere else because it was just too crowded. That was on Thursday. When it first opened on Thursday, there were some traffic jams going on. But it definitely felt crowded.
It seemed Thursday and Sunday, the exhibit hall was the most difficult to maneuver in.
Yeah.
Because Sunday is the family fun day, and there were a lot of people with just one-day Sunday badges.
Because they're so cheap.
And... with strollers, and there was this one aisle where everyone was mincing along at a snail's pace, and I kind of get around them, and the thing holding up everyone was just a lady with a stroller, just kind of lackadaisically walking and looking around and stopping occasionally.
Which again, don't bring giant strollers into the exhibit hall. It is not safe for the children in them. The same goes for giant wagons, which we saw a bunch of this year as well.
Yeah, that was new.
Yeah,
wagons.
Wagons. It's these people are trailing the wagons behind them. Someone's going to trip and fall on your kid. It's just going to happen. In fact, I would be surprised if it hasn't already happened at some point, and maybe I just haven't heard about it. but that is dangerous. It is so dangerous. If your kids can't walk on their own or aren't small enough to be put in just like a papoose, be strapped to you, then really you got to leave them with sitters. I mean, it's just not. I really think that's not safe. That's my opinion. Feel free to disagree with me. You can comment down below if you disagree with me, but I really think bringing strollers and wagons with your kids, I mean, it's just dangerous. Anyway, now also about the numbers, yeah, huge, crowded. Gen Con is the giant spectacle. You get lots of people. You expect that. There is definitely something to be said for less crowded cons, but that's not usually what Gen Con is. Like, if you want a less crowded con, go to one of the smaller cons with around like 10 to 20,000 people, like PAX Unplugged or Origins, and you'll have more room. Like when I walk around PAX Unplugged, excuse me, when I walk around PAX Unplugged in December, my general feeling is that I never hit traffic jams. It's still a fairly decently sized convention, but I feel like they actually have the room for the number of people that are going to be in there. Now, moving on though, so it says Indianapolis, August 8th, 2022. Gen Con, the largest and longest running tabletop gaming convention in North America, returned to Indy this August 4th through 7th, attracting a unique attendance of over 50,000 people, gaming fans to the Indiana Convention Center and Lucas Oil Stadium for 4 days of playing games, shopping in the exhibit hall, cosplaying, enjoying local food and beverages, and connecting with fans from Indianapolis around the world. So my quick reaction to that paragraph is hell yes, it did feel like Gen Con was properly back to normal. And now that we griped about how crowded it was, I was happy that it was back to normal. All the food trucks were back. All the vendors in the exhibit hall were back. The exhibit hall was packed. There were like 2 empty booths of people that didn't show up, and that was it. Everything else was just full. There was, and I was very happy to feel like it was back to normal Gen Con, because as much as I liked the extra space from last year, it felt a little weird when you went through the entire exhibit hall in half a day, and you're like, oh, that was everything. I actually saw everything. Whereas today, this year, again, it was like, wow, so many companies, so many games.
Yeah, but I bought more stuff last year than I did this year.
Yeah,
because I could see things.
Yeah, but you got some review copies that were for you, not me this year.
I'm talking about spending money though.
Yeah, but it's because we get a lot of free stuff though, which you guys probably already saw if you saw our haul video. We did get a bunch of review copies. Our goal this year was to return to the level and scale and spectacle that make Gen Con a can't-miss annual event for gaming fans from around the world, and we absolutely feel we have achieved that. I agree, said Gen Con President David Hopp. We are grateful to our tens of thousands of attendees, exhibitors, event organizers, and local partners who made this year a truly special 55th edition of the best 4 games. I can't speak. 4 days in gaming. Yeah, so it definitely felt like mission accomplished. I don't disagree with that at all. Or what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay. Gen Con Indy 2022, which marked the 55th running of the convention since its founding in 1968, which is insane that it's been going on so long, generated an estimated, and this is crazy, wait till you hear this number, $57.4 million that was injected into the economy, and that includes restaurants, hotels, and other local businesses in Indianapolis. That's how much money was injected into the local economy by Gen Con this year. And that gives you some idea as to why Indianapolis is always so desperate to want to keep Gen Con in Indy, because we do bring so much money into the city. And without Gen Con, I mean, it's a huge hit for them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was I don't remember how many years ago, but there was a point where they actually expanded the convention center as part of the renegotiation to keep Gen Con. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I don't remember when. But
that was a while back now. But it like totally makes sense when you see how much money we bring in. I mean, the dollar sign there is probably a bigger statement than the number of attendees. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So for nearly 2 decades, Gen Con has held its amazing event in Indy. And as Gen Con has grown in size, so has our city, said Leonard Hoops, president and CEO of Visit Indy. Our entire community loves welcoming Gen Con's attendees, and we look forward to seeing them again in 2023 and beyond. And yeah, I did feel welcomed again by the local businesses and the food trucks. The people really love to have us there, and lots of great,
Yeah.
So, I mean,
As long as you pretend that Indianapolis isn't in the state of Indiana, it's fine.
well, plenty of cities in their states are not necessarily,
Yeah.
in line with each other. Indy's a very welcoming city. This year's Gen Con was even better for us than 2019, said Stephanie Shassow, which is the event manager for the op. Gamers came ready to bring fun to the table. All participants were required to show proof of vaccination to attend and wear masks while inside Gen Con controlled spaces. We have to discuss this. So, all right. Now, we got in on Wednesday pretty early, like midday?
Yeah, around 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Okay, so early afternoon. And we got to the vaccination room to show the vaccination and get your bracelet. You got a bracelet. And we were like, oh, there's like no line. This is easy.
Yeah.
We went in, we showed our vaccination. Line was moving real
It took
fast.
like less than 5 minutes.
Right?
Yeah.
We got up there, we showed our vax cards. We got the bracelet put on, though yours was put on so loosely it almost fell off.
Yeah.
That was...
I don't know why the lady put it on so loosely. I could literally, like, I had it up on my forearm, because I was afraid it was going to fall off, like just during regular things, because I could totally slip it over my hand. I took it off at night to sleep.
Which is, that's not how you do one of those supposed to be permanent bracelets. Yeah. But later on, we were out after, because we went to the stink and we went to, which we'll talk about in a little bit when we're talking about all the stuff we did. But we went to the stink and we went to to get some food from the food trucks and the beer tapping. Mm-hmm. And while we were out there, we saw this giant line in the second floor, and it's the opposite side of the convention center. And Lynn says, "What's that line for?" And I said, "Maybe it's the vaccination line." And you were like, "No."
I was like, "No, the vaccination place is on the other side of the convention center."
So what was it?
It was the vaccination line.
So, like, what happened? You read the article, the post about, like...
I read some Reddit posts about people complaining.
So what happened?
I mean, according to various Reddit posts, the people in charge of the line, there was some guy at the end of the line who was like holding like the line starts here kind of sign to like for people to know, but then he would like start telling people that the line was closed, and even though it was a 24-hour thing, like it never closes.
Right.
And I think I don't know what his thinking was, but apparently some people, believed him and left and came back, but other people were like, they just stood there and eventually like they went. I think he just didn't want to move any farther, but I don't know for sure. So there was that complaint where they were getting misinformation.
Well, so they had a room set up and there were a bunch of people there. So I don't know how it got so backed up, unless it was just a ludicrous amount of people showing up literally
I think it was
once.
everyone at once.
But the thing was, I think the problem. This is my hypothesis. I don't have any data for this. But based on the fact that the guy at the end of the line was doing things he shouldn't have been doing, and based on the fact that the lady who put your bracelet on didn't know how to attach the bracelet and did it too loose, and the lady who put my bracelet on, while she did do it nice and tight, she took forever to figure out how to actually put it on. Like she like she didn't know what she was doing. I think the problem is the people who were doing the verification and braceleting did not get much in the way of training. And I don't think they would need much training, like maybe 5 minutes of training to tell them how to do the bracelets so that they don't fall off, and how to check the vaccination card. That's really all you need. But I don't think they even got that, because like they didn't seem to be very well organized. Even when we went through it and it was quick, they didn't seem very well organized.
Well, I remember like I guess it was because she was futzing with your bracelet, but like I went through I was really quick.
But she put it on too loose.
And like Matt, who we went with, was really quick, and we were standing and like waiting, and we're like, "What's taking him so long?"
She couldn't figure out how to get it to snap. She's like, "I don't know what's wrong with it." I'm like, "Do you want me to?" Like, move, I'll move, And she's like, oh, yes, put your hand out like that. I'm like, okay. It was, yeah, so she finally got it, but I do feel like maybe they didn't. I'm pretty sure they just threw them to the wolves. I'm pretty sure they were like, oh,
Yeah.
sit here and put people's bracelets on.
I
Didn't even show them how to snap it.
I have also I recall some probably another Reddit poster saying that his bracelet kept unsnapping and he would just have to resnap it.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, they're not supposed to.
No,
They're
no,
supposed
they're
to.
supposed to be
They're
permanent.
supposed to be permanent.
It's the bracelets were supposed to be like amusement park bracelets. When you get an amusement park bracelet, where the only way to take it off is to cut it off. So the point being that you can't give it to someone else. And they weren't doing that properly. So
Yeah.
all right. So there were some issues with that. I hope that runs more smoothly in the future if we have to do that again next year. So all this happened concurrently with in-person convention. They had also an addition of 900 virtual games for the Gen Con Online. And events were held through the convention's Gen Con Online program, and over 50 hours of live video was streamed on the convention's Twitch channel. Now, I can't really speak to this because we had no experience with that because we were there. We were doing live things. We weren't doing anything online. Did you hear anything about that online?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't do the Twitch.
Gen Con Indies 2022 official charity partner was the Patachao Foundation, a nonprofit which serves meals and learning experiences for children to increase their awareness of and excitement about food and fight the root causes of hunger in the community. Nearly $40,000 was raised over the weekend for Patachao Foundation through multiple charity events. So that's freaking awesome. I do love that Gen Con always partners with a different charity group every year, and they've raised a lot of money for a lot of different charities. And then it has the dates for next year, and that's basically it. So, any thoughts on the press release as a whole?
No. I mean, it seems like a
Pretty boilerplate.
General press release.
Yeah. So okay, but the big things, like we already reacted to the ups and downs. We already reacted to the big ups and downs. All right. So we did only a handful of events this year. We did the Stink. We went out to the food trucks every day and did the beer tapping, which is not really an event, but you know what I mean. We also did we did the first exposure playtest hall, and once we did the BGG hot games room. And the reason we only did a few events is because we always now have to leave a lot open for press events and press demos that we get invited to, and we did do some of that. We got invited to go film with a lot of different companies, which hopefully a lot of the footage I've shot is already up at this point before this video comes out. So you can see a lot of those. Everybody we shot with, I don't need to go on a one-by-one basis, but all of them were awesome. Everybody was great. We shot a lot with AEG. They did this cool like AEG hotel room party. We went up to like a penthouse suite. I just want to call it specifically to them.
It was a presidential suite.
Yeah, it was really cool. They had a big they had a couple big tables set up, and they did demos of some of their games. And it was really, really awesome. I just wanted to give them a specific shout out because everybody else, most of it was like, come to our booth and we'll show you your games, and that's cool and all. But actually having a whole suite set aside where it's quiet and you're outside of the exhibit hall was really pretty awesome.
They gave us free soda.
They did. We had some free sodas while we were there. I got a free pirate coin. They gave me a pirate coin from a shipwreck.
I didn't get anything.
Well, I was there with a content creator badge, but they did. I asked them if you could come, and
I know
you did get a soda.
I got a Fanta. Yeah.
Wanna Fanta? Don't you wanna? Anyway, so can't sing too much of that. I'll get demonetized. So even though we're giving Fanta free advertising, I'm sure they demonetize us for it. Okay, so but yeah, all that was great. So do you want to talk about the couple of events we did do?
Okay.
So which one would you like to start with?
I don't know. We just do it in the order we did them.
So go ahead. The Stink then.
It was the Stink. It was like normal.
So
we stand on the line. You get some stuff and you sit down.
I played one of the party games, which is this weird like coin rolling game. It was like a really old game that they were doing as one of their party games. That was really fun. It was a great one to do in a small space. Yeah, we got a lot of free loot. We got t-shirts.
I didn't get a t-shirt. They didn't have any of my size.
You could have gotten an extra big one and used it as a night shirt, but you didn't want to. I got a t-shirt. We also got some dice and some other free loot at the stink. We hung out with some of our friends there. We also, which I love getting to see our friends at Gen Con. What about now? One of the big things, and you should talk about this. So we went when we went to the AG press event. There was they had a bunch of their other games that they weren't talking about around, and one of them that Lynn thought looked really interesting, and she was showing it to me, was this game called the Guild of Merchant Explorers. And then when we went to the BGG Hot Games room, what did we play?
We played the Guild of Merchant Explorers.
So why don't you talk a little bit about that experience, because that was pretty awesome.
So, we went to the BGG Hot Games room, and you went up to the big old table.
Yeah, I had said that. I remember that I had said, why don't you go pick? And you were like, no, I want to sit down. I'm tired. You go pick.
It was very hot and tiring weekend.
It was like 90s some of the days.
I mean, I sat down and I would have just been okay just sitting there for the 2 hours.
Because it was cool.
Yeah. But you saw that they had a copy of the Guild of Merchant Explorers to play, so we played it, and I really liked it.
It's Nico.
Okay. I really liked it. It's, you're playing, it's a Euro game. So you're playing a game, like a solitaire game, with your own little board, and other people just happen to be playing the same game too.
Now, you were like blown away by this. Was this the highlight of the con for you?
I think it was.
Okay. So then I'm really glad to report also, and I'm sure you saw it if you watched our whole video, that afterwards I wound up talking to AEG and they gave me a review copy of it. So we will be reviewing it.
Also, I wanted another thing.
Okay.
Because I'm like always on Reddit. Is some people were saying that the people running the Hot Games room were kind of hostile.
I didn't find that.
Yeah, well, we didn't really, we left way before our time. Because you get like a playing card, which lets them know, when your time is up.
Okay.
And I think we left with, still a half hour left, because we were like, half hours is not enough time to play a new game. It took us...
It was less than half an hour. I think we had about 15 minutes left, and we were like, "This is not enough time."
No, it was half an hour.
It
was.
Oh, okay.
Because people were saying that the people running it were coming around with 20 minutes left, telling them to wrap it up, pack up their game.
With 20 minutes left is not right.
Yeah.
Now we didn't experience that, but we left pretty early. But if that was going on, that's not cool. I mean, I understand if you come around with 10 minutes left and are like, "Hey guys, you got 10 minutes left. Wrap it up, close up the game." I totally get that, but 20 minutes is too much. That's insane, because there's some games that are literally only 20 minutes.
It's also that room is huge and it never fills up fully. So it's if someone goes a little bit over, as long as that's their last game and they're not trying to sneakily stay in there, just let them finish their game.
Yeah, no, I had not heard about that. So that's a big positive with a big negative there. I had not heard about that, so that is a bit iffy.
Yeah, and I mean,
sketchy.
we never left our seats. So, I mean, we didn't really have any interaction with the dudes besides them scanning our badge and handing us a card.
We also, and I know this was another highlight of the con for you, so we went, a game that we reviewed recently and actually got the review out right before the convention, which is Launchland Expand Ursa Prime. So we had picked a time to go to the First Exposure playtest hall, and Lynn was able to see who was demoing at that time, and it turned out the designer of Launch...
I wasn't able to see everyone. They posted, again, on Reddit.
Oh, okay. So you saw some of them.
The designer of Launchland Expand posted on Reddit saying he was going to be in that room at specific times.
Oh, I misunderstood. Okay.
And then I looked at our tickets and was like, oh, hey, one of those times is the time that we're going to be there.
And what he was demoing was the new expansion he's working on. So Lynn got excited because she really liked that game. I really liked that game a lot too. And she was like, I want to try out the new expansion. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, is that going to be our number one choice then? And Lynn's like, oh yeah. We got to, I love how Lynn is generally so hipster on camera, but she was like obviously excited to try out the expansion.
Whatever.
She was like, I want to try out the expansion. I want to see what the new factions do. And I was like, okay, that's cool. So we did manage to get in on the expansion. Now it's not final. This is playtesting. So we playtested the expansion a bit, but the new factions, which probably are only going to be playable specifically when you're playing like 5 and 6 player games, because they're too weird and different from the standard player factions, are awesome though. They were a lot of fun. I played one of them and Lynn played the other. Most of the other people there had never played Launchland Expand, so they all just played basic factions. And yeah, but it was very different. It turned it into a whole, like, at least for us, it turned into a completely different game. And then for the other people, it added a couple of completely new elements to the game with how they dealt with us.
Yeah.
Which was really kind of neat. I liked that. It was very cool. What did you think?
I enjoyed the faction that I played.
Yeah, it was really cool. All right, so that's really it for that. What about the food trucks? Thoughts on the food trucks this year?
The lines were very long.
We had one time where we came out at a really good time and they weren't.
Yeah. In general, they were long. There was one time where everything was a madhouse, and we just hopped on Island Noodles line because we knew they were going to go fast.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the food trucks. They're all good.
Yeah, we got to have some Jamaican food.
I mean,
we got to have what else?
I never ate anything from the food trucks that I disliked.
No, it's all good.
Certain things I liked more than others.
I got to try the official burger. I got to try the official pizza, both of which were tasty. I reviewed them, I think, in the general Gen Con videos. What other? I'm trying to think. We had pierogies. We had the pierogi truck one time. We had what else did we go to?
Jamaican.
I said Jamaican.
Okay, I got a grilled cheese and cheese curds once. It was
that was when I had
cheese filled dinner.
That was when I had a burrito.
Yeah.
So I had some Mexican food.
I had Mexican too a different time when you went to something else.
I know we had more, but I'm having trouble remembering all the specific food trucks we went to. But there was a lot of different food. It was all really good. All very tasty stuff.
I think we got Cajun once.
Oh yes, we did get Cajun. That's right. We had po' boys.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That's why I was trying to think of the po' boys. Yeah, but no. That generally speaking, as usual, food trucks were crowded but delicious.
Cupcake and
oh yeah, we had
ice
cupcakes.
cream and root beer floats. That was all me.
Let's see. So most of the rest of the time, the con was we were doing a lot of walking around the exhibit hall, as well as specifically going to appointments that we had to film with various game companies, which again all went very well. But the exhibit hall, like I said, was just packed full. But it was crowded on some days, but overall was very good because it was back to the normal number of exhibitors. So yeah, overall I'd say a very positive experience for me. Way more thumbs up than down. There were some issues, but overall very, very good. What do you think?
Yeah.
Overall, still very, very good.
Yeah. The ends, like specifically the far end, the opposite side of where you enter the exhibit hall against that wall was like good for just, taking a breather. There was usually a couple people standing.
That's a very wide aisle.
Standing or sitting there, and like it wasn't crowded.
Yeah, that was always good. So any other takeaways you have from the con?
Just that I hope it's not that humid again anytime soon.
Yeah,
anywhere.
That has nothing to do with the con organizers. That's just nature. It was hot. It was humid. It was muggy.
It made the exhibit hall feel hotter than usual. Like I don't know if they weren't putting up the AC as much.
Well, I think part of it was just there were a lot of points in the exhibit hall where it was super crowded. A lot of it, I think, might have just been body heat.
Yeah.
I was sweaty all con, and I think everybody in there was. So there wasn't like a whole lot you could have done about it because you go outside for 5 minutes and you're like soaked with sweat. It was so hot, especially on like Wednesday. Wednesday was the worst. Now, granted, you didn't go in the exhibit hall on Wednesday, but you know what I mean. Wednesday was the worst of the heat because it was in the 90s all day. Like even in the late evening, it was still in the 90s.
Like I think Wednesday night it rained. Remember because we left early.
It cooled off a little.
Yeah,
a little bit.
And then it like rained a little bit on Thursday. And then I don't think it rained the other day.
But overall, still an amazing convention. It's back. It definitely felt like Gen Con was back, and it was up to snuff with pre-con Gen Cons, pre-COVID Gen Cons. You know, it really felt like it was back to those sort of levels in regard to attendance and to the exhibitors. The exhibitor attendance was way up. So yeah, really awesome. Can't wait for next year. So I guess that's really it. Not much else to discuss. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed all the coverage we've done for Gen Con. Feel free to check it out on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, share it on all forms of social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Captain. That's Captain spelled with a K on YouTube. And until next time,
Game on.
Get in here.
Oh, hi, babe.
And we're getting a puppy blooper.
Babe.
He's like, you're not paying attention to me for like 5 minutes, and I need to be the center of attention always. Okay, Nico. Go play with your toys. Go play with your toys. Go play with your toys.